This is an amazing video that surfaced yesterday. This is a truly incredible video.
Too early for this.
Yeah, exactly. This will wake you up, folks. This will get your blood going. Climate Defiance, it's like a youth climate protest group, attended a swanky fundraiser for the Democratic governor of Massachusetts, Maura Healy, and they protested her accepting donations from fossil fuel companies. She has blocked a couple of fossil fuel limiting projects in and around Boston, and so they came there to voice their concern. And, you know, like, I know some of the youth climate groups have a bit of a reputation for being a little cringy with the soup on the paintings and things like that. That's the wrong kind of protest. This is actually the right kind of protest. Don't throw soup on a painting. Go to one of these high-dollar fundraisers where these virtue-signaling, philanthropic mega donors, all these do-gooder libs, gather at what looks like a Cape Cod mansion, I'm going to guess, right? Like a beachside sort of, you know, very, very big house, as you can see, and make a ruckus. And that's what they did. So we're going to play this video. Steve Donziger sort of popularized this video by tweeting it out. That's where I saw it. This is the full version. So it's about 1 minute and 45 seconds, which features the action. And look at the response of these wonderful, nice, liberal Democrats. This is who actually funds the party. This is a great video to play, because now you actually see who actually runs the Democratic.
You know, these are the people who, when DeSantis sent the migrants to Martha's Vineyard, talked in the off season in a resort town with thousands of empty hotel rooms about how they didn't have the room or the resources to take care of these people. Right. And you know, gave them a little gift bag with a juicy box and some Kellogg's travel size cereal, and waved them off smiling to an army base. That's who these people are.
That's who this is. And actually, I'm glad you mentioned Martha's Vineyard. This is actually Nantucket. That's the location of this mansion. A very, very wealthy area. All right, so here it is. So there's the governor.
I'm sorry to interrupt. We're in the midst of a climate emergency.
What's your name?
My name is Matt.
Nice to meet you,
I'm
Matt.
20 years old and you're throwing my future. The state of Massachusetts is building 10 new fossil fuel infrastructure projects right now. We need you to ban new fossil fuel infrastructure right now. Will you commit to doing that? Yes or no?
Let's talk about that, okay?
Let's talk about it. Yes or no?
Let's talk about that. There's a huge transition that we're undergoing, and there's a lot of work to do. But let me tell you, and I
First
appreciate...
step of the transition is to ban new fossil fuels. Will you ban new fossil fuel infrastructure?
I think it's enough.
I think it's enough.
I appreciate it's democracy.
And fossil fuels, Maura. And fossil fuels. And fossil fuels, Maura. And fossil fuels.
We are being protested against.
Look
at this one.
Get out! Get out! The fossil fuel industry.
Fucking piece of shit.
Look at this one.
Listen, I'm gonna warn the audience here. I'm gonna stay on the right side of YouTube, but some things bring my queens out. These motherfuckers bring out the queens in me, man. Like, this is hard for me to watch, honestly. I'm furious every time I see
this is really, really,
And fossil fuels, Maura. And fossil fuels.
You assaulted us.
How did I assault you? There is no
Get out!
Get out!
The fossil.
She's the one who obviously paid for the catering. Like, she strikes me as the person who actually put money out to organize this and is like, you're fucking me here. You know, because this is how this, like, high-dollar fundraising world works. Like, you host an event, it goes well, you get to host more events, you get to rub more elbows. I know people who have done fundraising like this. That's how it goes. So an event goes sideways like this with a bunch of riff-raff climate activists come in. You know,
now you don't get invited to play bridge with the cool kids
they don't
anymore.
use your house anymore because you can't be trusted to make it run right. So
you didn't have security.
Get out!
How did these kids get in?
Exactly.
The fossil fuel industry bought you out. The fossil fuel industry gave you $50,000. And fossil fuels, more and fossil fuels.
I've been a climate activist for longer than you've been alive. With the white wine in his hand.
And fossil fuels.
Touch you.
I'm going to touch you. All right, did you see that?
And fossil fuels.
Touch you.
I'm going to touch you.
You've hurt your cause.
You've hurt your cause. Standing there with the glass
Hold me
of-
back. Hold me back. Yeah, listen, man, I'm going to be careful how I say this, but this guy thinks he's a fucking tough guy. I would love to see him meet a tough guy. He's going after the generic teenager from The Simpsons over here. Like he's a fucking tough guy.
Like he's a fucking tough guy with his Sauvignon Blanc in his hand, chasing them around. I'm going to touch you. First he touches the girl. He says,
Marty,
"Don't touch the
it's
girl."
enough. It's enough. They're leaving, Marty.
Right, leave alone.
Motherfuckers.
What an asshole. All right, but it gets worse.
No new fossil fuels. We've spoken to her before, and she's ignored us.
You have no idea how to get things done.
You have no idea how to get things done. Look at this shot here. Look at this picture. He's telling her you have no idea how to get things done. Look at the size of that house in the background. Look at the swanky party that they're having on there. How you get things done is you make enough money to get invited to this
that driveway
party.
is bigger than my apartment.
Exactly. The driveway is bigger than most people's apartment. How you get things done is you make enough money to get invited to one of these events, and then you grease the politicians to give you some of what you want. That's how they view getting things done. Actually disrupting an event with grassroots activism, that's not how you get things done. That's rude, as he goes on to say. But look at that image. I mean, this says it all.
Well, this is very much, and it's what we've said about the Democrats, and it's very clear. This is an aristocracy that believes that it has an in effect divine right to rule. They call their divine right meritocracy, right? They went to the right schools and they got good grades and they, did what they were supposed to do, and they're professional class people. And if the people are revolting, the fault is always of the people, right? That's why they're so supportive of censorship, because clearly, if these people are saying things that challenge their narratives, the fault could not be with the narratives. Therefore, the people are foolish. The people are ignorant. The people must be corrected. They can't be exposed to these counter narratives because that's dangerous for the people. There are very few elites that see themselves as illegitimate, right? I mean, I don't know if there are even examples in history where an elite class saw itself as illegitimate. They're always going to justify their position. And when you look at democracy, that's maybe the greatest cloak in history for an elite class to cover up its elite status, right? Well, it's a democracy. We're not an aristocracy. Clearly, you are an aristocracy. Did anyone vote for these people?
Right.
Their money controls our political process.
Who is this guy? I don't even know who the hell this guy is. I mean, I know who he is now because he actually issued a tweet after this incident, which we'll get to in a moment. All right, let's hear the rest of this.
We're afraid because our lives are going to end.
My lives too. We're all the same age.
No, we're not. I'm 20. How
Well,
are
fine.
you?
I have kids that are 9.
Okay.
You have absolutely no idea how to get things done.
Can you tell me what are you doing to help them? What
I
are you doing to
have
help them?
solar everything. I have solar in my
Is your
house.
individual
I have solar in my
act
house.
going to help us? No, the act
I
of someone-
virtue signal. And she says, well, the act of one person, that's going to help us? Or is it going to be people in power creating policy that'll help us? And he blows her
Solar
off.
in my
Is your
house.
individual act going to help us? No, the act of someone in power is
if you
going
had half
to.
a brain, you would understand
We
how
have
to get
no
things done.
money. Maura has power, and she can help save us, but
But
she's
your
not.
rudeness prevents you
We're
from
gonna
talking
die.
to her.
Who cares how rude we are?
I don't mind
and
if
the
you
people
die.
in that
I'm gonna
event-
die.
I don't mind.
Wow,
You
I didn't
die.
even hear that.
Yeah.
It is
I
said
don't
that the people
mind.
are revolting.
You said
Yeah.
it. They stink on ice.
No money. Maura has power, and she can help save us, but
But
she's
your
not.
rudeness prevents you
We're
from
gonna
talking
die.
to her.
Who cares how rude we are?
I don't mind
and
if
the
you
people
die.
in that
I'm gonna
event-
die.
I don't mind if you die, actually.
This is who these people are. And, some people said in the chat, it's not just merit. A lot of them popped out of the right vagina. That's true, too, but they'll never own up to that, right? Because they popped out of the right vagina and then they went to Harvard. Right? They went to Harvard. They earned their position because they went to Harvard.
Yeah. Now, that guy, his name is Bruce Parcellet. He's not on social media, but apparently he took to a defunct Twitter account to issue an apology since he realized he's on camera telling a climate activist, I don't mind if you die. And so he takes to Twitter to apologize. He says, in the heat of the moment, I found myself in a situation during which I made personal comments to a woman that were both highly inappropriate and completely unacceptable. I made a profound mistake and I am deeply sorry. I understand the passion young people bring to the issue of climate change, and I share their belief that the survival of the planet requires all of us to work together on this cause. I'll translate that roughly for you guys. In a moment of, emotional intensity, I revealed who I really am and what I really think about climate activists. I realized after the video surfaced that as a philanthropic mega donor to the Democratic Party, part of my job is to feign respect for climate activists, and me being on camera telling one of them I don't mind if they die kind of fucks up the brand. And so I have to come onto this defunct social media page and issue a mea culpa of sorts that I don't actually mean. No, what you saw there on the driveway was who this guy is. Don't take his apology.
Right.
His apology is worth
course.
fucking nothing.
Right. It's who you reveal yourself to be when you think nobody's watching.
Right.
That's who you actually are. And part of that shock and horror, part of that self-justification for them is, but we're liberals. We are against our own interests.
Right.
We want higher taxes. How dare you come here and accuse us? Right? They're just, that's their attitude, right? That's I've been fighting for this. It's Nancy Pelosi. I've got a basement full of signs about Medicare for all. That's so how dare you come to us? Don't you realize how we're not the bad guys? The Republicans are the bad guys. They want to destroy the planet. We want to take minimal steps that won't cost us a dime to save the planet. Why are you confronting us? Why don't you go confront the Republicans, which I'm sure these kids do as well. So yeah, this is, I tweeted and you retweeted it from my account. Tell me again how I have to work with these people. Tell me again how I have a moral responsibility to make common cause. Tell me again that there's common cause between me and them, that my interests are aligned with the interests of these people.
Of course.
As a working person.
You know who should tweet out that video? Cornel West, and say, this is why I'm not running as a Democrat, okay? This is why we need a third option. Look how the Democrats actually feel. You saw that house. That was Nantucket. She's the governor of Massachusetts. Nantucket, is one of the wealthiest communities in the country. She's got it right there. That's who funds her campaign. That's who she answers to. The mean hair. Get out! Mr.
That's who
Tough Guy
has
there
her
with
on
the white
speed dial.
wine, escorting the climate activist out the door. The guy harassing her down the driveway. That's
I'm gonna
who the
touch
Democrats
you.
are. Yeah, that's who
I'm
the
gonna
Democrats
touch
are.
you, that motherfucker.
Yeah.
That fucking guy was the worst, man.
Yeah.
No, these people live in a world where if they have a problem with their zoning, if something's bothering them, call Maura.
Right,
Maura.
exactly.
Right? They got her on fucking speed dial, man, and she's gonna take that call because that's who funds her campaign. That's who's gonna fund any future political career she has or any future private sector career she's gonna have. Listen, man, I know somebody, I'll be very obscure. I don't want to get her in trouble. I know somebody who was a councilwoman, like just a councilwoman somewhere. I won't say where. And yeah, she gets out of office. She made some calls and they got her a job. That's how it works. Now, she was not at a level where she's at Lockheed Martin, but they got her a job. So at the higher levels, all the more so, right? It doesn't end when you get out of office. These people got your back when you're out of office for what you did for them when you're in office. That's how it works.
Please clap.